good, y'all? It's the messenger of God here, coming to drop one for y'all today. And I know the sun is like, it's like in the way, but can y'all hear me? I hope y'all can hear me. But it's the messenger of God here, and I'm coming to drop one for y'all today. And you know what? Today I want to talk about Jericho, you know? And I'm going to bring you guys Joshua, because when I was thinking about Joshua, I was thinking about the only chapter in the Bible that talked about success. Well, at least one of the chapters that I know that talked about success, and that was Joshua chapter 1, verse 5 through 9. But before I get there, you know, I was thinking about Moses, okay? In Deuteronomy chapter 34, 9 through 12. And it says, "And Joshua the son of man was full of spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. So the Israelites listened to him and did as the Lord commanded Moses. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face." You understand that? There was going to be no prophet like Moses ever again, you guys. Okay? None equal to him in all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to his land, and in all the mighty power and all the great and terrible deeds which Moses wrought in the sight of all of Israel. And y'all, when I was reading Joshua, you know, I couldn't read it without talking about Moses, because Moses, you know, he was a great prophet and no one was like him, you know. And I was reading, it's sad because when he was talking about the promised land, which was in the land of Canaan, and it was something how when he sent the people to go over there, to go to Canaan, to scope out the land, you know, when they came back, they made up stuff and was like, you know, there's giants that's bigger than us, you know, these people, they live in the walls, and they, you know, they were like as if they were afraid, but God promised them that land, you know. And it's something, because when they came back, it was like they was over there in the wilderness for like 40 years, and it was 40 years, I believe it was 40 years, and they were just, you know, wandering around, and Aaron died, you know, waiting, and Moses waiting to get to the promised land. But if you notice, it's just like, wow, it was just like, how long was it going to take for them to go over there to this land that God already promised them? And it's something how much time that they wasted, you know. And Moses was looking up like, you know what, I'm not going to make it. You know, I'm getting old. You know, he lived to be 120 years old, and God showed him the promised land. But if you notice, it was just like, you know, he died trying to get there, all because they didn't want to go over there to the land that God already promised them. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't believe that they did that. Moses was like, you know what, I can't make it. I'm going to have to give this to, you know, hand this over to Joshua, the son of Nun. You know, and he lived to be 110 years old. But what I want y'all to know is that these people were servants of the Lord, okay? And when I looked at this, I was like, have y'all noticed that the Israelites been around for a long time? You know, if I didn't tell y'all this in my video, I was looking, I was like, you know what? The Israelites have been around for a long time. Like, do you see, since ever been enslaved by Pharaoh, you know, they was with him for like 400 years or so, and they were still alive through Moses, through Joshua, you know, through the king, through King Saul, through King David, through King Solomon, you know, all the way to the end. God is showing us how many people can continue to carry his word, and how no one is the same. Okay, he had all these leaders that he picked, you know, and prophets that he had to lead Israel, to lead the people. But guess what? The Israelites never died. And, you know, I was looking at, you know, all these people they said that was old in the Bible, like Methuselah and like all these people who got old. But how old was the Israelites? Okay. They kept on living through all of these people. Did y'all notice that? I did. I was like, wait a minute. I'm counting all of these years that, you know, that people lived and died and lived and died, but the Israelites kept on living, right? That's how I saw it. The Israelites just kept on living. Y'all, I was tripping, okay? And then it said, I said that we will have to fight to the end, still trying to carry the torch. We will go through so much, but God still has his hands on us. He will still guide us to the very end, y'all. Okay? Now let me get to Joshua chapter 1, 5 through 9, where he was talking about success, y'all. Okay? Verse 5, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your lives. Okay? As I was with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not fail you or forsake you. Be strong, okay, confident, and of good courage, for you shall cause this people to inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only you be strong and very courageous, that you may do according to all the law which Moses, my servant. Now let me stop right there. Moses, my servant. Do you understand that these people had to be the Lord's servant? You not only had to believe, but you had to be the servant of the Lord. You had to serve the Lord, okay? In order to lead these people. You can't lead anybody if you're not his servant. Do you understand that? Nothing you speak, nothing you say, nothing you do. You can't lead any people, and you can't do anything unless you are the servant of the Lord, okay? Let's keep going. Okay, according to the law which Moses, my servant, commanded you, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left. That's like, don't be wishy-washy, don't go this way, don't go that way. Stay straightforward, that you may prosper wherever you go. Okay, this book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, that you may observe and do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, okay? And then you shall deal wisely and have good success. So just think of that in your life. In order to have good success, you have to be a servant, and you have to meditate on the word day and night. So Jesus tells us how to live life and how to be successful, okay? Have I not commanded you? Be strong, vigorous, and very courageous. This is verse 9. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Y'all, and I was thinking about this, and they had the Ark of the Covenant. When I was reading about Jericho, hold on, let me keep reading. Okay. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant. Now, when I thought about this Ark of the Covenant, because I didn't write it down, but I said I will try to remember, okay? The Ark of the Covenant and the law, which is the commandments that they have from Moses, right? And because this is the covenant that they were carrying around, this Ark of Covenant was God's promise, like for the Israelites to feel like that God was with them. So they kept this Ark of Covenant sacred. This started with Abraham, his promise that he made to him, that he will always be with him. And he told him that he will be with them, passed down through him, his forefathers, and generations to come, okay? So this Ark of Covenant was sacred, y'all. And when I thought about that, how when they walked to this river Jordan, how the water divided for them to go across, you got to remember that Ark of Covenant made me think of Noah. That Ark meant so much. It was a promise that he gave to us, So that covenant is his word, his promise, that he would never leave us or forsake us, okay? And also the law that they was carrying around was the commandments, for us to live by our daily lives by. The commandments is to guide us and to show us how to live life, to have structure in our lives, to know on how to live and how to be with the Lord, So they carried that. So when I thought about that wall of Jericho that they had to march around, just think about that, y'all. Think about that. Okay, he told them to not to say anything, but to march around this wall 6 times, okay? 6 times, okay? In the 6 days to march around it, one time around the wall of Jericho, okay? For 6 days. And on the 7th day, he told them to march around 7 times, okay? And then blow the horns, the trumpets that they had. And you know what? This made me think of Revelations too, y'all. Because I was looking at the Ark of Covenant that they had to have to march behind them. Because before they went over there, they had the priests to carry this Ark of Covenant. And they also had 7 priests to have these shofars, these horns, these ram horns that they made that they was going to have to blow. And I was thinking of that. I said, didn't they have like those horns that we was going to hear in the end, you know, in this promised land? All this time, y'all, we have been around the promised land. The Israelites was around the promised land the whole entire time. Okay. Well, I told y'all, we be waiting for revelation and don't know we are the kingdom. The whole time, all we needed to do was to believe and to have faith, okay? And to keep his word, to keep his promise, the Ark of the Covenant, okay? To keep his word, the commandments. And then here goes the 7 horns that they're going to blow to bring it all down. You know, because those people that was over there, God promised them this land. And those people over there was doing wrong. And those horns was warnings before he was going to bring it all down. Because he promised them this land. But see, do y'all remember, what's her name? Rahab. I don't want to say her name. Rahab. R-A-H-A-B. Rahab. She was the harlot that hid the 2 spies when they came over there, and in her roof that was made of flax. And I want to tell y'all what that flax was. That flax is plants were grown for making linens. The plants were picked and the stems placed in the water to separate the fibers. They were left to dry on flat roofs. Like Rahab's, okay? Like Rahab's, okay? A comb was weaved to separate the threads, okay? These were woven together to make the linen, okay? And she used these to hide them in top of her roof, those 2 spies. So when King Jericho had said to come around there to look for the 2 spies, she hid them. She said, yeah, they came, but I don't know where they went, you know? But those 2 spies was the ones that was supposed to come over there. And she was just like, you know, I already know why y'all here. I already know that this is your land. But please just promise me, okay? When y'all make y'all rounds and y'all come back around here to come and get y'all land, please remember me that I hid y'all, okay? And the 2 spies said, a life for a life. You know, they was just like, you know, we promise. You know, all you got to do is hang this on your window, this little scarlet, this little piece, so they will know when they come by here, you know, not to mess with y'all, okay? And that was the promise that they made, that they will not get killed or their place will not come down because they did a good deed, you know. But for the wrongness, that was also for the wrongness that they were doing, you know, in order for her to be saved from the wrongness that Jericho had did, you know, she had to do what she had to do. And because she did that, it saved her and her family's life, you know. But all I'm trying to tell y'all is that if you do not walk right with the Lord, everything will come crumbling down, you know. No matter what leader that God has, that he will keep on trying to have his word to be. I told you, from one end of the earth to the next end, okay? That's how his word will go. And these Israelites is us. You know, we got to keep on going. We got to keep on marching and keep on going. But God already promised us the promised land. As long as we keep his covenant, as long as we keep his word and his commandments, you know, and long as we pay attention to the warnings, like the priests had those shofar ram horns that they blew to warn you, to let you know that, hey, we are coming. And when the Lord comes, he's going to have this angel to do the same thing. They're going to blow these horns, okay? A warning before destruction, before it all comes down. And I'm just telling y'all, all y'all got to do is believe in God. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shall I dwell in the land, and verily I shall be fed. Okay? You have to believe in God, y'all. I'm telling you, in order to make it in this world. And you know what? I don't even have to read anything else from this, because that's what I was coming to bring to y'all today. Joshua, the success. He taught us the success story. Okay? He told us how to be successful, but we have to keep his promise. The Ark of the Covenant, I told you, was his promise. And the 10 Commandments is his word and his law for us to live by daily. And those horns was a sign of this warning before destruction. Before he come, he let us know, okay, that he's always with us. And we have to trust and believe in him because we already have the promised land. He already have gave us the promised land with milk and honey. He already told us that all of this is ours as long as we walk by faith and not by sight, as long as we keep his covenant and his word, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. And when I read that, I was just like, oh my goodness, you know, it was something else. You know, I told you I be writing down a whole lot of stuff, but you know, sometimes I just ask the Lord to just give me the words to say. And I love y'all, and I just wanted to bring that for y'all today. You know, I stepped out to let y'all know. And when you're going through things, y'all, remind yourselves, we all go through a lot of things. But in order for us to get through them, we have to pray constantly, okay? You have to have faith. Because I'm telling you, a lot of times we go through so much, and the enemy wants to keep trying to attack us, you know, in this late, you know, season of our lives. But you know what? You got to take one day at a time and just keep praying, keep praying, keep praying, no matter what you're going through. I love y'all. And if nobody told you that you was beautiful today, remember that you are just the way that you are, y'all. And I love y'all. I hope y'all can see me. I know the sun was in the way most of the time. But I love y'all, okay? I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. And read Joshua, okay? Read Joshua. I'm telling you, you know? Because like I said, I was looking at that, y'all. How many people was leading these Israelites, and y'all saying, oh, these people is this old and that old. I'm like, well, wasn't the Israelites slaves for 400 years? If they was slaves for 400 years and then Moses got them out, ain't they getting older too? Ain't they getting older, you know, older and older and older, and they kept on living and kept on living. You know, they had to go through ups and downs, and then here comes, you know, over there in with Gideon, you know, they had to make sure that they didn't follow, you know, the false gods. They had to deal through temptations and trials and tribulations too, but they knew that they were only supposed to serve one God, you know. And let me see what I wrote down. I know I wrote down something. If God does not fill or occupy the highest place in our hearts overall, something else does, and that something else is an idol. So remember that. If you do not serve God, and he don't fill the highest place in your life, okay? If he doesn't take the place of everything that you worship or that you love, then you are worshiping an idol, okay? Remember that. No matter what it is, okay? If God don't take the highest place first and foremost in your life, then you're worshiping an idol, y'all. I just want y'all to know that, you know, I want to give you encouragement just like God did. He gave us success in Joshua. Joshua chapter 1, verse 5 through 9. I love y'all. Y'all read out about that Jericho, that wall. I'm telling you, he gave us the promised land long before, you know, long before we have it. Because he told us that this is already ours. The promised land already belonged to us. We just have to believe. I love y'all. Y'all take care. All right? Later.